G'day, 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 you absolute bunch of bloody legends. I hope you are all doing legendarily fantastically. LuzrBum back in the house, your favorite internet quality content provider. And today I'm going to do another one on concept. So LuzrBum Concept. The concept today is a mythomania. Mythomania. Write that down. That's your word for the week. Here it is on Wikipedia. Mythomania. So a myth is like a story or a lie. And mania, when you're a maniac, is when you do something and you can't stop. So you see here on Wikipedia, they actually take mythomania and take you to the page for pathological lying. Pathological lying is habitual or compulsive lying. So it's not just a little bit of a little white lie or a bit of normal lying. Yes, I did my homework, or the dog ate my homework, or something like that. It's somebody who's lying all the time. And this happens. I had a friend at school that you very often have this in little kids. Not every kid, but there'll often be one in your group of friends or one in your class who's always telling lies and tall stories for no real reason. It makes them look a little bit better, but nobody believes them, so not really getting out of it, but they can't stop doing it. I had a friend called Alain Guigui, who was French, and when we, in primary school, we learnt about the moon landings. They hadn't been that long ago, and we had the moon landings, and we had to learn the names of the astronauts by heart. So remember, this was in France, and so I remember to this day, many years later, the three astronauts who first went to the moon are Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins. And I was in France at the time, not in Australia, not because I'm in Australia now. And I was in France at the time, so the people spoke French, but my parents spoke English as well, so they taught me how to say the names correctly. The teacher would say us, well, the names of the first astronauts on the moon was Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins, right? And my parents taught me, no, you're supposed to learn these names. This is how you pronounce them: Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins. And that's how I said it in front of the whole class. And they were like, ooh, he knows how to speak English. The next day, my friend Alain came in and said, everyone, nobody knows this, but my real name is actually Alain Armstrong Collins Guigui, which is like, what the hell are you talking about? That's rubbish. Your name is not Armstrong and Collins. You're a French kid, right? And he would constantly have lies like this. Some of my fans have told me that they have friends who are constantly saying, oh, I know this, I know that. It's rubbish. So that's mythomania. We have some examples of pathological liars. No, we don't. We don't have them here. And I want to give you an example, famous literature from a very old book. Is the Baron Münchausen. He was a German character from a book, and it's a book which was written a long time ago. It was written in 1785, so almost 250 years ago. This guy, Rudolf Erich Rasper, wrote this book, and it's Baron Münchausen's stories about his travels in Russia. And he told a ton of stories in the book which were all impossible. If you look for picture, here's an absolute classic. The one story which is always, well, I was fighting the Russians and I got onto a cannonball and had myself shot out of the cannon, and that's how I flew over the enemy lines and won the battle or whatever. So if, as you see, the first Google image search, remember Google image search, always use that, always has this guy either being pulled along or riding on the cannon. This is an old sort of 1960s, 50s film by Albers. No, sorry, it was even during the war. This is in the 40s. That's a more recent one. There's been many films about it made because it's a free story. Here's another one. The picture's not as nice, but that's a famous one. It was like his horse got stuck in the swamp and was sinking into the swamp. And he grabbed the hair. He had like long hair and ponytail because noblemen had that, and pulled himself and the horse out by his own hair, which is, according to the laws of physics, complete nonsense. And there's more and more stories about here. There's one here where he was like wrestling with the bear. You can see some of these. I remember when I was a kid, I had an illustrated version which had these really old pictures, not like this, but maybe more like that one. It was nice. It was a cool book as a kid to look at. I think here's another one. Yep, this was another one. Is where instead of flying on the cannonball, he tied a bunch of ducks to himself with pieces of string, and then they would fly over. Why am I telling you this? Yeah, it's sad if somebody has this, and I think in the book he's a tragic character ultimately, because only he believes that these stories are true. Maybe the school friends that you have, they also believe that the stories are true, but it means maybe that they're not feeling very good about themselves, or they just want to show off. I mean, you can tell all kinds of rubbish like, yeah, I was on Mars last month. What's the point of that? Only a mythomaniac, only a maniac would do that kind of thing. So don't believe everything you see on the internet. Definitely don't believe everything you see on the internet, except maybe what your friend LuzrBum tells you. But even there, take a pinch of salt. And yep, that was our word, Mythomania. Maybe in the next videos we'll go back to do more games or internet-y stuff or whatever. But because we had the alter ego last time, because I thought we'd do a bit of Mythomania, I don't know, maybe it's relevant to LuzrBum, maybe it's not. So, with that, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to tell your friends to like, share, and subscribe. You're bloody awesome. You're absolute legends. I'm LuzrBum, you're the internet, and I am out of here.